for details. 1-0. Sanger chops it foul at home plate, and it's 1-1. This is Hayden's first action in the series. Torrens got Friday and Saturday. Last game for Sanger was when he caught Zach Thornton on Wednesday in Washington. He's just 1 for 8 in 4 games. Torres up here to the injured Alvarez. The 1-1. Sanger drives the ball in the air to right. Casey is back toward the track, jogging down near the wall, makes the catch with just a couple of feet to spare in deep right field. Sanger almost had his first major league home run. For the Mets, strand 2, no runs, no hits, a walk and error, and 2 men left. Inning and a half through, no score in Miami on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
Survivor's ready? BetMGM Casino has added Survivor, Outwit, Outplay, Outlast, a new and exclusive game to its tribe. Whether you're a fan of the show or just a fan of fun, it's time to grab your torch and give this slot a spin. Download the app today. Survivor's ready? BetMGM Casino has added Survivor, Outwit, Outplay, Outlast, a new and exclusive game to its tribe. Whether you're a fan of the show or just a fan of fun, it's time to grab your torch and give this slot a spin. Download the app today.
Hit hard. It might have hit Scott. It goes out to second where Simeon fields and throws to first for the out. And Scott is sitting on his backside in his landing spot near the mound. It sounded like it hit him. I haven't seen Carlos Mendoza go out there. Oh, it might have tipped off his glove.
Yeah, if anything, it tipped off his glove. He was able to get his head down in time. Thank goodness.
That was scary. Comebacker there off Lopez's bat. And Scott able to hit the deck and survive. So I'll put it down as a 4-3 until told otherwise. But here's Jacob Marcy with 1 out. And the pitch. Fastball nabs the outside corner. The count 0-1. Mentioned there was another guy from Miami that used to lead the league in batting average. That was Luis Ariz. Well, he is in second place behind Lopez. 0-1. Line toward third, caught by Beatty. Brett was playing in. Had at least his toes on the turf there. And had 1 second to think. And he raised the glove and made the catch on a bullet right at him. Nice play. 2 down. Marcy retired. Connor Norby coming up. Of course, Luis Ariz now with the San Francisco Giants. They are a team that has the same kind of problems the Mets do offensively. They can't buy a run. Giants, though, are in fourth in the NL West, 21-31. Here's Connor Norby. No score, bottom 2. Righty against righty. Scott's pitch. Fisted towards second. Simeon reading it, makes the catch while softly backpedaling to shallow center. In time for the out. A very breezy 1-2-3 inning for Christian Scott. Hold on to your hat, Christian. We go to the third inning. No score. Mets and Marlins on Odyssey Mets. All new Nissan Central.
Choose to lean into it. Every Mazda is engineered to give you effortless control.
I keep seeing celebrities post me in the 90s versus now. Well, the person staring at me in the mirror is definitely not the same person that could pull off bootcut jeans. Time creeps up on us so slowly. You don't see it until suddenly you do. Same thing goes for your bills. $1 here, an uptick there. It's a slow burn until one day you realize the price you're paying now is way higher than when you signed up. But at T-Mobile, customers had the lowest wireless bills versus Verizon and AT&T over the past 5 years. And with T-Mobile on their experience plans, you get a 5-year price guarantee, so you know exactly what your plan price will be for the next 5 years. So at least that's one thing that won't change over time. I can't guarantee. And AT&T over the past 5 years. And with T-Mobile on their
Today, we're going to explore legal frameworks.
Sit down. That's radio powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra.
In baseball, great teams know one thing: smart defense wins championships. The same is true when it comes to protecting yourself. That's why more Americans are starting with Byrna Less Lethal. Byrna Less Lethal personal protection products are designed to stop an attacker for up to 40 minutes, giving you time to get to safety and
Building relationships is at the heart of what I do. Adobe Acrobat AI Assistant helps save me time, but also build trust with clients. Getting through the contracts as quickly as I can make or break a deal with AI Assistant. I can find contract details quickly, and it provides prompts for questions.
He was really good in 2023. Small sample size, but in 107 games, hit 26 homers, drove in 70. Next pitch. Swung on, served out towards shallow left. Taylor froze, now comes in, sprints to the spot, makes the catch. First out. That's 6 in a row set down by Christian Scott and 7 of 8 to start the game. Javier Sanoja next. Final Marlin to face Scott for the first time today. With 1 out in the 3rd inning and a scoreless game, finale of this 3-game set. That's trying to avoid being swept. First pitch to Sanoja. Off the plate away. 1 ball, no strikes. Applebank, where saving meets amazing. Applebank, proud partner of the New York Mets. Visit applebank.com to learn more. 1 ball and no strikes. Scott from the windup. Drops the glove to the belt. Kicks home. Swung on line the opposite way. Past a leaping Simeon into right center field. A base hit. Ewing cuts it off before it gets to the gap. Sanoja stops at first as the throw comes in. Second hit of the game for the Marlins, and that flips the order for Liam Hicks.
That was really close to Simeon's glove. A step and an angled diagonal leap to his left, full extension. That black glove wide open, and it just sailed right above the top of it.
1 out base runner for Miami. Here's Hicks, grounded to second base. First batter faced by Scott back in the first. Pitch. Breaking ball, first strike. It's 0-1. Christian, who grew up just north of here, went to high school at Calvary Christian, which is about 45 minutes away from Marlins Park. He's making his 3rd ever start here in Miami. The 0-1. Breaking ball missed down and in. 1 ball, 1 strike. His final start in 24 before he landed on the injured list was right after the All-Star break here against the Marlins. Also made his 3rd major league start here. From the belt, kicks home. Missed high. 2 balls and a strike. The Mets, after that Marlins series in 24, then went to the Bronx for the Subway Series, and I can remember standing outside the clubhouse at Yankee Stadium when the news came in that Scott was going on the IL with an elbow strain, and you thought, oh, here we go, it's another one. 2-1 pitch is fouled off at home plate. It's 2-2. And it was either that day or a day later that Christian sat in the dugout at Yankee Stadium and said that he was going to try and rehab, but in all likelihood was going to have Tommy John surgery. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the pitch to Hicks. Way upstairs, 3-2. That was in July. I don't believe he had surgery until September.
Yeah, they tried to rehab it, tried to not get away with one, but see if he could maybe pitch through the end of the season.
3-2, runner goes. Pitch is outside, ball 4. First walk issued by Christian Scott. And Miami has 2 on for the very dangerous Xavier Edwards. So 2 base runners for Miami against Scott here in the third in a scoreless game. And Xavier Edwards, who is 1 for 1 with a double. Bats with runners at first and second and 1 out. Scott ready. And the first pitch. Way inside. 1 ball, no strikes. Bo Bichette plays up the middle behind second base. Right side of the infield straight away. Beatty's slightly off the bag over at third. 1-0 pitch. In tight, 2-0. And Scott, who had been filling up the strike zone first time through, walked Liam Hicks and now is behind in the count. 2 balls and no strikes on Xavier Edwards. Edwards repairs with Otto Lopez as one of the most dynamic middle of the infields in baseball. 2-0. In tight, 3 balls, no strikes. This is where things can get dangerous for Christian Scott because you just can't afford big innings with the way the Mets offense is right now. And walks lead to big innings. 3-0. Ball 4. Wow. Walked him on 4 pitches. Back-to-back walks, and the bases are loaded.
And these aren't control. Well, obviously it's control problems when you walk guys, but when Christian has had these spouts of randomness of walks that just pile on, it's usually the same missed location, usually up high or top of the zone. He was missing in, missing out there to Edwards. And you wonder, too, if because the offense has had such a tough time of it, these pitches feel like, I have to be perfect. And thus, you become imperfect when you try to do that. When you try to be so fine, it usually ends up backfiring. But when you don't know if you're going to get any run support that day, do you blame the pitcher sometimes for getting too fine?
Oh, when you see games that are 3-0, 2-1, 3-1 pretty constantly, their pitchers feel like they do have to be perfect. Justin Willard out to the mound just to break up the rhythm of Christian Scott before he faces Owen Casey, who he struck out in a big spot in the first. Now he faces him with the bases loaded. First pitch. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike. It's 0-1. The big spot back in the first was following an Xavier Edwards double. Scott got a strikeout, then a pop-out. Mets do play the infield back with the bases full and 1 out. Try and turn 2. The 0-1. In tight. Missed with a sweeper inside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Christian Scott trying to get himself out of trouble. You're in a scoreless game in the third. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. Blew it by him with a fastball. It's 1-2.
I think Casey wanted to hit that ball off of his headshot up there, right center field.
A hit and 2 walks in the inning. Miami with the bases full and 1 out. And the 1-2 to Casey. Swing a tapper foul. First base side. And it's still 1 ball and 2 strikes. Casey, who had 2 RBIs in game 1. Tall left-handed hitter waits. Scott ready. And the 1-2. Check swinging a ball up and away. Did he go? No. Says Derek Thomas, and it's 2-2. Sanoja's the runner over at third. Hicks at second. Edwards at first. All 3 lead off. And the 2-2 to Casey. Foul back to the screen. Bought up to 97. Still 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, he was right on that heater. So the first big one earlier in the AB, just missed it. This one he fell, tips it straight back. Might have to go even higher or spin Casey here because he's right on that fastball.
Still 2-2. Scott sets, delivers. Swing and a miss. Got him with a breaking ball. And a huge second out for Christian Scott. Strikeout number 2, and there's 2 away.
Now, this pitch ends up being pretty close to the middle of the plate, but Casey thinks it's a high fastball, so he pulls the trigger quickly. And the sweeper just drops enough, little movement left to right to fool Casey. It's a big pitch right there.
That's a massive second out, and now here's Kyle Stowers with the bases full. Walking lead all the way around, first pitch. Top of the zone for a strike. And it's 0-1. Sanoha over at third is walking down the line, trying to distract Scott as much as possible. The 0-1. Swinging a sharp ground ball hit to second. Simeon waits for a big hop, tosses it to first. In time for the out. Christian Scott in and out of trouble in the third. No runs, 1 hit, 2 walks. Marlins leave them loaded. We're scoreless heading to the fourth on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra. Top of the fourth inning in Miami. Mets and Marlins scoreless after Christian Scott got himself in and out of trouble in the bottom of the third. Mark Vientos set to lead off. Then it's Brett Beatty and Marcus Simeon against Tyler Phillips, who's back to work. And the first pitch to Vientos. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball off the plate. It's 0-1. Fourth inning brought to you by Cars for Kids. 877 Cars for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today. Phillips needed just 5 pitches in the top of the third to set the Mets down in order for the first time. The 0-1 off the plate away. 1 ball, 1 strike. But Keith told you that Phillips' pitch count this season, the high is 52, but that came all the way back on April 3rd. 1-1. Swing and a fly ball hits it pretty deep left center field. Stowers over. And a step in front of the track makes the catch. 1 away in the fourth inning. And Brett Beatty next. So the Marlins do have bullpen action with 1 out in the fourth inning. Phillips' pitch counts at 50. But if you're Clayton McCullough and you get 4 innings out of Tyler Phillips today, you feel pretty good about that. Calvin Fauché is up. First pitch to Beatty. Swinging a line drive back towards the middle and down into center field, a base hit. Second hit of the game for the Mets. Beatty's first. Now Marcus Simeon next. Yeah, but Tyler Phillips does have starting experience. We told you that. When he first came up with Philadelphia, actually threw a complete game at one point with the Phillies back in 24.
Yeah, it was his fourth outing. Really early in his big league career.
First pitch to Simeon. Below the knees, 1 ball, no strikes. July 27th, 2024 against Cleveland, threw a complete game shutout. 1-0. Swinging a high fly ball to right field. Playable for Casey, who's over towards the line. And underneath it to make the catch. 2 away. The Phillies traded Phillips to Miami prior to last season. The Phillies claimed Carlos Hernandez from the Royals and DFA'd Phillips. He was getting set to make the opening day roster for Philadelphia last year. Before that, it's on the last day of spring. Here's MJ Melendez. First pitch down low, 1 ball, no strikes. MJ just 1 for his last 30. And struck out back in the second. Beatty leads off first after the 1-out single. Phillips sets from the belt. And the 1-0. Fouled off and out of play. Counts 1-1. Now Tyler Phillips is one of the 4 members of the Bishop Eustace pitching staff to reach the big leagues, along with Zach Gallen, Devin Smeltzer, and Justin Hageman. That's haven't seen Hageman yet this season with the rib fracture. 1-1. Up and away. Snap throw back to first. Beatty back with a dive. 2 balls and a strike. They're not all the same age. They're all within a year or 2 of each other. But Bishop Eustace is a powerhouse program in South Jersey. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Melendez chased a breaking ball in the dirt. And it's 2-2. Now, Phillips was going to come down to junior college here in Florida, but the Rangers drafted him in the 16th round.
The Bishop Eustace. Oh, did we stump the Schwab here?
I think he did.
You usually have all the mascot names.
2-2. Skipped up to the plate. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Do you want to take a guess?
The Saints.
Close. The Crusaders.
One did a little more peacefully than the other. It wasn't that close.
Well, you know, when they're a lot of the Catholic schools, they all kind of go through a rotation of mascots. 3 balls and 2 strikes, 2 outs. Beatty's off and moving. Payoff pitch. Down low. Ball 4. Melendez walks. And the Mets get a pair of base runners against Phillips here in the 4th. And Tyrone Taylor next.
Here comes Clayton McCullough. So that walk was big because it forces the Marlins to go to their bullpen maybe a batter or 2 earlier than they would have liked.
So Tyler Phillips, his day is done. Calvin Fauché is coming in. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Red Pocket Mobile. Visit redpocket.com to see why more Americans are switching to better wireless while also paying less. Miami, top of the fourth inning, scoreless game. Tyler Phillips' day is done. Calvin Fauché is on for Miami. He inherits a pair of base runners. That's Brett Beatty over at second base and MJ Melendez at first. They are the responsibility of Tyler Phillips, who is done after 3 2/3, last 2 hits. Walked 2, struck out 4 through 59 pitches. Now here's Tyrone Taylor, first pitch. Fastball off the plate away, 1 ball, no strikes. Fauché on for the second time in the series. A 1-0. Off the plate away, 2 balls, no strikes. Well, check that. It's the first appearance for Fauché in the series. He was up in game 1, but did not pitch. Last pitched against Atlanta on the 19th. 2-0. Swinging a fly ball hit to left field. Stowers in, calls everybody off, moves over towards the gap, makes the catch. And that's the final out in the fourth inning. So Fauché comes in, gets the final out, strands the inherited runners. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 2 left. We're at the bottom of the fourth inning, scoreless on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra. Bottom of the fourth inning in Miami, scoreless Mets and Marlins. Otto Lopez leads off against Christian Scott. Yeah, the first pitch. Sweeper, top of the zone for a strike. It's 0-1. Scott worked in and out of trouble in the third. Gave up a 1-out single, then back-to-back walks before he escaped the jam. The 0-1. Swing and a foul tip. Yeah, the count's 0-2 on Otto Lopez. It was 0 for 1. He grounded out back in the second. That was part of a 6-pitch second inning for Christian Scott, who's working fast. He's ready to go. And the 0-2. Check swing and a breaking ball down and away. Sanger asks for an appeal, but Manny Gonzalez says no. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Christian has thrown 52 pitches so far, so he's in pretty good shape. 1-2. Swinging a ground ball hit towards the right side. Simeon broke one way, goes to the other, dives, gets up, can't get the throw off in time. Lopez beat the throw for an infield single.
That was like billiards. Weird English on that ball. Simeon just couldn't read the spin. I think he took a step toward the middle and then broke left late. He just couldn't read it, and it was weirdly hit off the bat. And by the time Simeon recovered, Lopez just too quick.
So an infield single for Otto Lopez. Leadoff man on for the first time for Miami. First pitch to Jacob Marcy is off the plate away. 1 ball, no strikes. I just wonder if that ball knuckled on Simeon at all. He broke towards the middle of the diamond, then broke the other way. One 0. High and wide. 2 balls and no strikes. That's the 3rd hit allowed by Christian today. Two 2-0 on Marcy. Scott, a long look in. Clock down to 2 before he sets. Now down to 0. Delivers. It's popped up. On the infield, third base side, Beatty in fair territory makes the catch along the line. And there's 1 out. Clayton McCullough is talking with Jansen Visconti. There's a couple of things there. The clock was at 0. I don't know if Scott ever set.
I saw Jansen Visconti smiling as he looked at Clayton McCullough, so whatever it was, if Scott got away with one, he might have even got a big out there, because that was a 2-0 count, almost 3-0 with a pitch clock violation.
Here's Connor Norby with a runner at first. First pitch. Called strike. It's 0-1. And the clock definitely was at 0 when Scott delivered that pitch. Hayden Sanger was motioning for him to deliver. The 0-1. Breaking ball down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike. You have to come set for a full second, right? Like, you have to stop the hands, and Scott did. He did set. It was just a very quick set. Turns his shoulders, looks at first as he sets from the belt. 1-1 pitch. In tight. 2-1. Lopez bluffed over at first, but did not go. Well, we told you, Miami loves to run. They've stolen 62 bags. That's the most in baseball. They've been thrown out 17 times. Lopez has 8 of those. He's been caught 3 times. 2 balls and a strike. The pitch. Grounded foul. Into the Marlins dugout. 2-2. Sanger has not been tested much. It's just a small sample size. He has thrown out 1 in 2 attempts. Scott wants a new baseball. Scoreless game lasted the 4th, series finale. Mets trying to avoid being swept in Miami. The 2-2. Norby takes high, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So now you keep an eye on Lopez over at first. We saw Sanoja on the last inning run on 3-2 with less than 2 outs. Lopez leads off. Scott sets. Runner doesn't go. 3-2 pitch. Hit him. Ouch.
Norby is doubled over. Helmet just dropped off of his head. Now into a squat. It's 95 off the shoulder. He didn't move. I think he expected this ball to bend in as if it was a sweeper. And he just stood there like a statue and got popped.
We saw Mark Vientos take one off the bicep yesterday and how painful that was. Now, this one just kept charging in. It did get him on the elbow guard, but don't tell Norby that because he is in pain.
For Scott, that's now 5 hit batsmen and 6 starts.
Well, I remember the last one in Washington was a painful one for his old college teammate, Jacob Young. Caught him right in the ribs. There was concern that he'd broken ribs. Justin Willard out to the mound to talk with Scott with runners at first and second and 1 out. And Christopher Morel due up for Miami. Scoreboard update brought to you by the New York Lottery. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Detroit leads Baltimore 3-1. Framber Valdez, 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 run allowed in the 8th. The Cubs are in jeopardy of losing another one. It's early. The Cubs have lost 7 in a row. They're trailing 1-0 to Houston on a Jake Myers home run.
There is a team of people surrounding Connor Norby at first base just to make sure that he's still okay. Now McCullough, you've got the trainer, you got the bat boy, you've got the first base coach. And then Norby. And everybody vacates, and it's just Norby and the first base coach back together again.
So here's Christopher Morel, who's flying to left field back in the third inning. Norby is still in the squad over at first. Now he stands up, gets a walking lead. Lopez off second, first pitch. Morel checks on a ball down and away. 1 ball and no strikes. Scott was in trouble in the third. But Miami had the bases loaded with 1 out and did not score. Now it's first and second with 1 away. And the 1-0 pitch. Foul back to the screen. Counts 1-1 on Christopher Morel. The Marlins made a couple of moves this offseason to bring in veteran guys. They signed Christopher Morel to a $2 million deal. Pick to second base. Lopez back with a dive. Simeon came in from the second base side. And it counts 1-1 on Morel, who does have the eye black on, but he doesn't have the 2-stripe eye black that we're used to seeing from him. Scott's 1-1. Swinging a pop-up foul and out of play, back behind home plate. Into the sweet level. 2 below us, and it's 1-2 on Christopher Morel. Morel's batting just .154. He doesn't have a homer. He's driven in just 1. He's behind in the count, 1-2. Scott sets and kicks home. Check swing. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Says Manny Gonzalez. Morel down on strikes. Third strikeout for Christian Scott, and there's 2 outs.
Tell you, Scott's been playing with fire all day. Really, both sides have had men on base, and nobody's found that big hit. Well, Scott gets a big strikeout with first and second, but Javier Sanoa has never been an easy out for the Mets.
He is 1 for 1. He lined a single past Marcus Simeon to start that rally in the third. First and second, 2 outs. Scott's first pitch. Swinging a high fly ball to left field. It's shallow. Taylor moving over and towards the line underneath it. Makes the catch for the final out in the 4th inning. Christian Scott puts a pair on. He leaves them there. 4 shutout innings for the right-hander, and we're scoreless. Head into the 5th inning. Honestly. And Calvin Fauché back to face David Sanger, Keith.
But Tyler Phillips could close his line. He went 3 2/3. Scoreless baseball, of course. 2 hits, 2 walks, struck out 4. Fauché got the last out of the 4th. And his first pitch to Sanger to start the 5th. Strike flips the inside corner with a cutter. They count 0-1. Sanger and then the top. This will be the 3rd time through for the Mets offense. And not really much as far as matchups against the same pitcher. This is a new pitcher. 0-1. Steered in there again, a sinker, and it's 0-2. But 3rd time for the Mets through to try to put some runs on the board. They have just 2 hits today. They have had 2 walks and 1 error, so they've had base runners. They've already left 5 men on. So for a scoreless game, it's not been totally a pitcher's duel, but shutout baseball. 0-2. Swing and a foul into the mitt, held on to by the catcher Hicks. Senger strikes out. Got him with a sweeper. Pace of the game brought to you by Optimum, famously fast fiber internet. We're about an hour and 10 minutes in, and we're in the top of the 5th. So it's certainly moving. Mets will be going home for a 1-week homestand. They'll see the Reds for 3 Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Home off day Thursday, and then these Marlins in New York for 3. Here's Benj. First pitch misses outside. That's 1 ball and no strikes. Marlins, though, first are going to go to Toronto. Toronto taking on Pittsburgh this weekend. And the Reds will be in New York taking on the Cardinals. 1-0. Benj fouls back the cutter. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. This 5th inning is sponsored by Elec 825, building our future. But when the Marlins are in town next weekend, you can witness history. That is Lee Mazzillion, Bobby Valentine, Mets Hall of Fame induction. That is next Saturday, May 30th. Get your tickets now at Mets.com/tickets. 1-1. Strike on the inside corner with a sinker, and it's 1-2 on Benj. Mets will be back here in September, so they'll host the Marlins for 2 home series through the summer before coming back here. 1-2 to Benj. Line softly towards short. Filled it on 1 hop by Lopez. Whips it over to first to get Benj. 2 down. Carson 0 for 3. Still no hits in the series for Carson Benj. Officially 0 for 10. And here's the guy who's also 0 for 10 in the series, Bo Bichette. The head-scratching weekend for the Mets offense. A trip that began in Washington with 16 runs on Monday, including 10 in extra innings. Was one of the great extra inning outbursts of the century. Pitch to Bo. Missed outside. Cutter. That's 1 ball and no strikes. And again, in the wins, the Mets offense looks pretty strong, or has looked pretty strong in May. Scored about 5 runs a game when they lose. Offense seems to be one of the main stars of the show, man, the main culprits, really. 1-0 to Bichette. Strike inside corner with a cutter, and it's 1-1. And again, the lineup today is without Soto, but it is still without Lindor, and Polanco, Robert, and Alvarez. Names that we're supposed to be counted on. 1-1. Hit hard toward third, underneath the glove of Sanoa and into left field. That was ripped. Bichette takes a turn and holds on with a long single. That's a 2-out hit. At least I believe it should be a hit. There was 2 Sanoas left, and the exit velocity on that was pretty hot coming off Bo's bat. So it is a hit. It's his first hit of the series. And so another base runner on for the Mets, who again have left 5 men on already today, trying to take the game's first lead. Here's A.J. Ewing. That was a base hit and 111 miles an hour off the bat. I didn't think it was going to be an error, but I just wanted to make sure. Pitch to Ewing. Flips the outside corner with a cutter, and it's 0-1. So Bichette on at first. He's never been much to run. He's only tried his hand once this year. Ewing does have a hit. 0-1. Missed outside, but a head tap from Hicks. Catcher wants to challenge this pitch from Fauché.
Pitch is called a ball. The catcher is challenging.
Well, Ewing leans against that bat as he looks up to the video board above the second deck in right center field. The pitch is in for a strike.
Calls for the turn. Miami has 2 challenges remaining.
So Hicks, the catcher, gets it right for the Marlins. It is 0-2 on A.J. Ewing. Mets in the first inning, a 2-out hit. Left that man on. They had first and second 2 outs in the second inning. And first and second 2 outs in the fourth. And Fauché steps off. So when they have put somebody on, it's usually at the very end of the movie. Credits are going to roll soon. So a 2-out hit from Bichette. Already 0-2 on Ewing. No score, top of the 5th. Fauché set, and his pitch. Fouled away. Ewing spoils another one to stay alive. A.J. Ewing, game number 13, and thrust into the 3 spot. I know he has been hitting toward the bottom of the lineup. Mets don't want to put too much on his plate. It's a season that they really weren't supposed to see Ewing probably at all. And if they were, maybe at the end of the year if he had an unbelievable season in the minors. 0-2. Fought off foul the other way. And it stays 0-2. I mean, it was cool on Friday to see for the first time the youthful outfield of Morabito and Ewing and Benj was one of those wasn't on my bingo card type things for May, let alone at all this season. Step off from Fauché. This will be the second disengagement. No score, top of the fifth. Bichette off first. 2 outs, 2 strikes. Fauché's pitch. Ewing grounds it foul outside of first. And it stays 0-2. So this morning, I love The Athletic. Great publication. I'm rolling through, and I see an article that says, here's why A.J. Ewing could be an unbelievable player. And I rolled through another one that said, is A.J. Ewing overvalued here? He's already being talked about like this. That's the third disengagement, right? Oh, no, that's 2. He just stepped off again. Bichette just turned and looked at the umpire at first, Manny Gonzalez. Fauché stepped off, but that is the second disengagement. So 0-2 on Ewing. Pitch. Missed outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Mark Vientos on deck. Ewing rests the bat on his shoulder, waiting for Fauché here. Nods his head, yes. Comes set. 1-2. Fought off foul again. Now, what Ewing has been able to do, just in this at-bat, but really in a lot of his at-bats, is see a lot of pitches. He's only 21 years old. Stuff that guys, it takes him a couple years to have the type of pitch selection and plate discipline that Ewing has already displayed. Kid that never played any college baseball. Really, really impressive. Battling here, the 1-2 again. Hit hard, right side, and through under Bichette's feet going into right field. Casey fires in. Bichette gets to second. A.J. Ewing with his second hit, and he really battled. An 8-pitch at bat to get on base. He ripped it so hard that I thought it might have hit Bichette's feet. The umpire, Manny Gonzalez, gave the same sign and said no. Of course, if it hits Bichette, he's out. So first and second, 2 outs. We'll pause 10 seconds. Station ID.
This is Odyssey Mets Radio on WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
2 on, 2 out. Here's Vientos. Pitch. Strike right down the middle with a sinker. 0-1.
Well, if you're wondering why doesn't Bichette go first and third on that play, it's because he had a back pedal to get out of the way. That one would have caught him right in the foot had he not stopped his momentum.
That's 103 off of Ewing's bat. Now Vientos takes his time. So Bichette has hit one at 111. Ewing at 103. So Mets are hitting the ball hard against Fauché. But 2 outs. Vientos trying to find some grass here. The 0-1. Chopper toward third. Sanoa charges. Backhands. Throws across. In time to get Vientos. And that ends the inning. The Mets have left 7 men aboard. We go to the bottom of the 5th in Miami. No score on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra. are still scoreless as we go to the bottom of the fifth in Miami. The Mets have left 7. They're 0 for 5 with men in scoring position. The Marlins are 0 for 6. Nobody wants to score today. The Marlins have left 6 men on. Mets have 4 hits. The Marlins have 3. You can certainly credit the pitchers for getting out of trouble when they get into it. Fault the hitters for swinging at the wrong pitches. Here's Scott to Hicks. First pitch is high and away. Fastball missed, and it's 1-0. 69 pitches now for Scott. This is a big inning for him. Trying to go through the 5th. It's a season-high mark for him if he does. Matching what he did in Anaheim. 1-0. Strike at the top of the zone, and it's 1-1. Now, when a guy's coming back from elbow surgery like Scott is, there will be some ups and downs. I love what Jonathan said. What was it? Friday night? Development is not a straight line. Here's the 1-1. Hit hard outside of first. Foul, and it's 1-2. And the Mets have found themselves with injuries and young players to have them learn on the job here. Scott, though, is just trying to come back from injury. And this is only his 2nd big league season. Only his 15th major league start. 1-2. Just missed away with a kick change. It's 2-2 on Hicks. So Scott last time out 4. Time before that 4 2/3. Time before that also 4 2/3. That's right where he gets tripped up, right in this part of the game. 2-2 to Hicks. Hit hard to first. A roller knocked down by Vientos. Turns, fields, fires to Scott in time for the out. And there's one away. He came in, knocked it down, and then ran past it and had to go back and pick it up and threw over to Scott. Good job by Scott to cover for the first out.
Yeah, that's the key in that entire play is that Scott was headed towards first base because that's a relatively routine ground ball that you would just expect Vientos to take himself. But Scott, recognizing that, was able to pick up speed and get to the bag in plenty of time.
Here's Xavier Edwards in his teal uniform, top switch hitter batting left. No score in the 5th in Miami. Pitch missed up high. 1 ball and no strikes. These Marlins were born in 1993 as their first season. They were almost, of course, not the Marlins. There are a lot of other names out there. They were almost the Florida Flamingos. There's the 1-0. Missed up high. 2 balls and no strikes. Don't like that. That's a real thing. They almost wore pink. So his teal is certainly bright. But pink would have been kind of nuts. No score, bottom 5. 2-0 to Edwards. Sweeper's in for a strike, and it's 2-1. The fans had a name the team contest. 17,000 results. They wanted the Miami Manatees.
Okay, I get it.
So we had a little back and forth.
So we compromised? I mean, the Marlins is the perfect name for this franchise.
So I was just reading up on it because I guess you figured Marlins, Fish, Florida, South Beach. 2-1. A little bit high, 3 balls and a strike, but it actually had more to do with the colors that were in vogue than the Marlins. It just kind of led them to Marlins. A couple of years before the Marlins, the Charlotte Hornets started to wear teal. 2 years after that, San Jose Sharks. 3-1, lifted to center. Ewing toward left center on the run, makes the catch. And there are 2 away. Those 2 franchises were born late 80s, early 90s. This color, teal green, was kind of hot. And so, the owner, Wayne Huizenga, wanted the Flamingos. Everyone said, it's a little too much for Wayne. The fans wanted the Manatees. They said, it's not really a great look, a little bloated. Let's meet in the middle. And so they went with teal and they went with Marlins. Pitch to Casey. He takes a strike, and it's 0-1. Pitch came in at 94 miles an hour, high-speed pitch, sponsored by Spectrum Fiber-powered Internet, the most reliable Internet you can count on. Infield back around to the right. Here's the 0-1. Fastball missed high, 1 ball and 1 strike. Scott has 3 punch-outs today. Casey has gone down twice, 1 on the fastball, 1 on the sweeper. Scott peeks over that black mitt, the 1-1. Swing and a miss. Slider, and it's 1-2. Casey calls for his time. Scott right now at 81 pitches. I just put my manager hat on. I wonder if he gets out of this right here. Is that good enough for Carlos Mendoza? Will he send it back out for the 6th? I know Scott would want to go out. 1-2. Fought off foul, backing out of play. Yesterday, the Mets ended up using one reliever, even though Freddie Peralta got roughed up for 4 runs. He did go 7. Jonathan Pintaro pitched the 8th, so it was a little breather for everybody else back there. 1-2. Swing and a miss. He got him again. Third time he has struck out Owen Casey today. That's a 1-2-3, 5th inning for Christian Scott. 5 scoreless today for the right-hander. We go to the 6th in Miami. No score on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra. Out of the 6th inning in Florida, Mets and Marlins are scoreless. Finale of this 3-game set. Mets are trying to simply salvage a game here. Marlins are going for the sweep. It has been a 2-4 road trip for the Mets. 4 in D.C., they split them. And this is the end of a 3-game set here. John King, the lefty, takes over out of the Marlins bullpen to face Brett Beatty. Pitch. Missed inside, curveball. That's 1 ball and no strikes. However, a challenge coming up. This is Liam Hicks, catcher for the Marlins. Looking up there. And it was inside. So the umpire got it right.
Miami has 1 challenge remaining.
Graham Pauley has taken over at first base for Connor Norby. Remember, Norby got drilled in the elbow with that hit by pitch. That was in the 4th inning. Beatty is single in 2 trips today. The 1-0 ends away with a slider. 2 balls and no strikes. Brett is in our 5th batter spotlight, brought to you by Key Food. Look for all your favorite products at your local Key Food. Key Food and their family of supermarkets. It's a hot weekend to be at Key Food. 2-0. Miss low with a bender. 3 balls and no strikes. Although, not a lot of fun when you're trying to celebrate our servicemen and women by grilling up some burgers in the rain. A lot of rain going on right now up in the Northeast. Waiting for us. 3-0. Taken low. Well, Beatty's on for the 2nd time. It's a 4-pitch walk. A leadoff walk. And the Mets have not been walking a lot at all lately. Teams are just simply going right at them. But when you get a chance to find an opening, you got to pounce. Mets have left 7 men on base already today. And they have a leadoff man on in the 6th. So Beatty, we'll see if he moves at all. He has run. He's 2 out of 3. Pitch to Semien. Missed outside with a sinker. 1 ball, no strikes.
It does look like the rain is going to leave in the early hours of the morning for tomorrow. Because remember, tomorrow's a 4 o'clock start.
King set 3rd base side. Sets and goes. Semien chops it foul at home plate. That's 1 ball and 1 strike. I think it's supposed to rain early morning, you said?
Early morning, I think.
Be out of there by game time tomorrow. Cincinnati Reds, Terry Francona in for 3. 1-1 on Semien. Pitch. Shows bunt, pulls back, and almost gets his legs taken out from under him. Takes low for ball 2. It was a sweeper from the lefty, so from the middle of the plate, kept moving down and in, and Semien had turned his shoulders over to try to bunt and then had to pull it back and kick his feet out. That was a graceful move from Marcus Semien. Followed by Melendez and then Taylor. 2-1. Hit hard to short. Grabbed by Lopez. Flipped to second. 1. On to first. Double play. There goes the leadoff walk. 6-4-3 double play. And the bases are clear. Still no score. 2 outs. MJ Melendez will face the lefty John King. Melendez walked his last time. He's been struggling. 1 for his last 30. And sometimes you see against a tough lefty, Mendy make a switch, but the way the Mets are hitting, if that person would be hitting, they'd probably be in the starting lineup today. Nobody hitting right now for the Mets. Pitch to Melendez. Pumped in for a strike at 90, and it's 0-1.
Marlins have Anthony Bender up in the bullpen.
This is Melendez's 3rd at bat against a southpaw. He is 0 for 2. Slight open stance for Melendez. The 0-1. Missed inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. Out of town scores brought to you by Food Bazaar. Shop local, eat global. Milwaukee up 1-0 on the Dodgers in Wisconsin. Top of the 4th. Brandon Sproat against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. Pitch. Chopper hit foul outside of first. 1-2 on Melendez. Parker Messick has been great. Cleveland leading Philly 1-0. Top 6 in Philadelphia. Top 3 in Chicago. Cubs are back in front. 3-2 over Houston. And the Yankees and Rays are scoreless, bottom 6 at Yankee Stadium. 1-2 to Melendez. Breaking ball missed outside. Quarter of a swing, but he kept the barrel back. And it's 2-2. In that Yankee game, Drew Rasmussen against Ryan Weathers. David's son, Ryan Weathers. Kings 2-2. Hit him. Got him on the elbow guard. That was not the sound of the bat, but of the plastic elbow guard that protects Melendez. So he's on base. And, that's a little thing, too, that when you have a lefty against a tough lefty, that sidearm angle, maybe you catch a hit by pitch. Clayton McCall, though, is going to go to the bullpen here with 2 outs in a scoreless game in the 6th. Clayton McCullough, mid-inning, goes to the right-hander Anthony Bender. Top of the 6th, no score, but the Mets have a runner at first base and 2 outs. The runner is MJ Melendez. Just got hit by a pitch by John King. He's off the mound and back to Atlanta to go work at CNN. And here is Tyrone Taylor to face Anthony Bender. Right on right. Just couldn't help herself. It's right there. Taylor has walked and flown out to left. Bender ready. His pitch. Hit hard toward the middle of the infield. Backhanded by Edwards. He throws to first and gets Taylor by a step. So Bender comes in, throws one pitch, and gets the Marlins out of the sixth. Still no score in Miami. We go to the bottom of the sixth on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra. We go to the bottom of the sixth inning. No score in Miami. And good for Christian Scott going back out for the bottom of the sixth. And again, he's coming back from injury, so they've been very careful with him. He starts the inning with 83 pitches. First one to Kyle Stowers. Pumped in for a strike, 93-mile-an-hour fastball. And that's 0-1. But as he's getting loose, Huascar Brazoban, the former Marlin, is getting loose. As Scott is pitching, Brazoban's getting loose. 0-1. Misses outside with a heater. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. Stowers today has popped out and grounded out. Just 3 hits for Miami. Couple walks, hit batsman. 1-1, taken inside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Marlins have left 6. They've gone over 6 with men in scoring position. The Mets have left 8 men on base. They are 0 for 5. 2-1 to Stowers. Lefty takes a knee-high fastball strike, and it's 2-2. Now, the thing about Scott is that I told you it was about 5 innings and 85 pitches at the outset when he first came up. But this is start number 6. And the last few, he's just gotten in trouble where they've had to take him out. It's kind of been met with the pitch count issue, too, but also ineffectiveness. Today, he's been pretty good, even with men on. 2-2. Grounded foul. It stays 2 balls and 2 strikes. You have lefty, righty, lefty. So we'll see where Mendoza wants to fire Brazoban here. Infield is back for the Mets and around to the right. Scott looks over that black glove. Winds and deals the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Snuck that sweeper by Stowers. 5th strikeout. So not only back out for the 6th, but a strikeout to start. And Ana Lopez is coming up. MLB is partnering with Crisis Text Line to increase mental health awareness. For free 24/7 confidential support in English and Spanish, text MLB to 741-741. Ana Lopez is about to hit. He's having a chat with Jansen Visconti, the home plate umpire. There's something up with his back. What's this about? Let's find out. Clayton McCullough comes out. Lopez... He's got you might have heard blast motion, and this is not a sci-fi movie, but the blast motion is a little device that's on the bottom of the bat that helps track bat speed, bat path, a whole bunch of data points that I think in the minor leagues you can hit with. I don't know if there's a problem with the way this one's taped up. If they're, to be honest with you, I haven't even paid attention to blast motions. If they're not allowed anymore or something.
Never even noticed them.
Yeah, really. So Lopez has to get a new bat, and let's see. I don't think this one has a blast motion on it. It sits at the bottom of the handle. It looks like a little flying saucer, just a little. What's that table game? Kind of like shuffleboard.
Yeah,
the little discs that you.
I call it shuffleboard.
Is it just shuffleboard?
It's not, but
it looks like one of those. It's just a little thing that you slide on the knob of the bat. So Lopez has a new bat. And with one out in the sixth, first pitch. A little outside, fastball. That's 1 ball, no strikes.
By the way, that's called table shuffleboard.
Table shuffleboard. Okay, good.
Yeah.
There you go. The 1-0. Loop toward short. Bichette right there makes the catch on a little knuckler off the bat of Otto Lopez. So a pop out, and all of a sudden Christian Scott is 1 out away from getting through 6 for the first time this season. And the Mets without Clay Holmes. This is really the first turn through the rotation that we have seen what the Mets look like without Holmes. It's a big, big loss. If Scott can be relied upon, that'd be huge. Here's Marcy. Pitch. Fouled in and out of the glove of Sanger, and it's 0-1. Christian Scott's furthest he's ever been is actually his big league debut. Go back to May the 4th, Star Wars Day, 2024 in Tampa, 6 2/3. Here's the 0-1 to Marcy. Fouled off, and it's 0-2. Marcy is lined out and popped out, both of which have found the glove of Brett Beatty. Now Brazoban is standing on the mound, peeking over that high wall and right, wondering, should I stay or should I go? Marcy calls for time. Certainly an okay crowd for a Sunday, but very quiet. Been no runs in this game for these fans. 0-2. Rip to the right side, base hit past Semion's extended glove. Now Marcy is on with a hit. It's a 2-out hit. Here comes Carlos Mendoza. So Christian Scott was 1 strike away from going 6. And let's see. Mendoza, he's kept guys in before. He's looking. He hasn't made the signal yet. Claps his hands, walks up, takes the ball. He will go to the bullpen. No score, bottom of the 6th. Good outing today by Christian Scott. Call to the Oscar Brazoban comes out of that Met bullpen with 2 outs and a runner on in the bottom of the 6th. No score. The runner at first, responsibility of Christian Scott, is now watching from the dugout. Really good outing today for Scott. Of course, he'd love to keep it where it is. And Brazovan would love to do the same. So Marcy, the runner at first, he can run. Stolen 13 out of 18. Graham Pauley gets his first at bat. He's batting in the spot where Connor Norby was playing, but Norby got hit by the pitch and came out of the game. So Brazovan, the former Marlin, comes set. Righty to the lefty. Brazo ready. Spins and throws, and Marcy back in standing. Oscar Brazovan, 36 years old. Just his 5th big league season. Broke in with the Marlins when he was 32. Pitch. Missed low with a split changeup. That's 1 ball and no strikes. He had come up in the Colorado system, spit out of that, played indie ball in the Atlantic League, and the Marlins found him. And he's been a great get. The 1-0. Swing and a miss. That was 95. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike. And of course, this year, Brazovan has pitched to a 2.13 ERA 18 times in relief. This is number 19. And of course, 3 times as the opener or starter. 1-1 on Pauley. No score in the 6th. The pitch. Lofted to right, not deep. Fady over makes the catch. Bench over makes the catch. And that ends the inning. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 left. So that finishes off Christian Scott's good day and takes us to the 7th. No score in Miami on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra. We go to the 7th inning at Lone Depot Park. Mets nothing, Marlins nothing, Pat.
And Carlos Mendoza goes to his bench for Luis Torrens to hit. And hit in Sanger's spot. Anthony Bender back after throwing just 1 pitch to get the final out in the 6th inning. In a scoreless game, Mets trying to avoid being swept. So Luis Torrens bats for the first time. First pitch. Takes a fastball for a strike. It's 0-1. He's Keith Radd. I'm Pat McCarthy, coming to you live from the Bigelow Tea broadcast booth. Bigelow Tea, grab a mug and tea proudly. 0-1 the count on Torrens. 197 hitter. The 0-1. Fastball off the plate away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Sanger goes 0 for 2. He did fly out to deep right back in the 2nd. Well, they went down on strikes in the 5th, and now Carlos goes to Torrens. 1-1. Swinging a fly ball towards right center field. Marcy comes in, makes the catch. That's the first out in the 7th inning. Hung up just long enough for the center fielder to come in for out number 1. And Carson Bench next to the plate, and now's the perfect time to get a Peerless Spoiler. Don't wait, go to peerlessspoilers.com for more information and an installer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers are the world's best built boilers. Carson Bench is 0 for 3. He has struck out and grounded out twice. First pitch, up and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Carson is hitless in the series, went 0 for 1 on Friday night, 0 for 4 yesterday. He's 0 for 3 today. 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball down low towards the shoe tops. 2 balls, no strikes. The Marlins have 2 up in the pen, Michael Peterson and Cade Gibson. Two balls and no strikes. And the pitch. Bench takes wide, 3-0. Now the Mets will just take any base runner at this point. Three balls and no strikes. On Carson Bench. Pitch. Outside, ball 4. 4-pitch walk. And the Mets get a much-needed base runner in the 7th. And Bo Bichette next.
We saw a pretty big, almost head roll instead of an eye roll for Daniel Monskis, the pitching coach for the Marlins. He knows, the Mets are struggling. Why are we walking them, kind of thing. They go right at them. The Mets will take it.
Mets have walked 4 times against Miami. Also been hit by a pitch. Here's Bichette with 1 away. First pitch in for a strike, and the count's 0-1. Mets have 4 hits in this game. Bichette has 1 of them. He scorched a 111-mile-an-hour ground ball right past Sanoha over a third. That was in the 5th inning. Bender sets. Bench goes, the 0-1. Pitches a called strike, and the ball pops out of Hicks's glove. Bench swipes second with his 9th stolen base. And the Mets have the go-ahead run in scoring position with just 1 out, but it's no balls and 2 strikes on Bo Bichette.
Now, there is 1 out, too, so it's not like most of these situations today for the Mets where they get something going, but there's 2 outs.
Nothing into the count on Bichette. Trying to give the Mets the lead. And the pitch. Swing and a fly ball, center field pretty deep. Marcy drifting back at the warning track, reaches up, makes the catch a step in front of the wall. Bench tags, heads for third. He'll get there without a throw. And there's 2 outs. And Bench at third for A.J. Ewing.
Bichette hit this ball, I think, a lot further than we thought. Took Marcy all the way to the track, and with the last pitch that Bender throws, this is a big at bat, so they're going to get, looks like the lefty, I'd imagine. Oh, no, they call for the righty. Peterson, that's interesting.
So a call to the bullpen. Anthony Bender is done. Michael Peterson is coming on. And this call to the bullpen is brought to you by the New York Lottery. Play today and start imagining your win. New pitcher for Miami, it's right-hander Michael Peterson for the 2nd time in this 3-game set. came on in game one, faced A.J. Ewing. And Ewing won an 8-pitch battle with a base hit, and it's Ewing at the plate with Benj at third in a scoreless game in the top of the seventh. Ewing has 2 hits today. He's 2 for 3. Peterson's first pitch. Swinging a fly ball, hit foul and out of play. And the count's 0-1. And Peterson has had a great season. 17 games, posted an ERA of 3.9. He's given up just 14 hits in 18 innings with 19 strikeouts. He's ahead of the count 0-1. And the pitch to Ewing. High. 1 ball, 1 strike. AJ had been 2 for his last 13. Coming into the game today, he's in the 3 spot with Juan Soto out with an illness, and he's gone 2 for 3. Now he's trying to put the Mets ahead. The 1-1. Down low towards the shoe tops. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Mark Vientos is on deck. Scoreless game, top 7. Peterson's 2-1. Check swinging a ball upstairs. It's 3 balls and a strike. Michael Peterson, the 32-year-old. 6'7", 200 pounds. He sets. And the pitch to Ewing. Fastball right down the middle for a strike at 98. It is 3-2. Peterson, the 5th pitcher used by Miami in this game. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Go ahead, run at third. The right-hander sets the payoff pitch. Swing and a miss. He got him. Blew a fastball right by him at 99. Michael Peterson comes in, inherits the go-ahead run at third, strands him there. We are scoreless, heading to the bottom of the 7th inning. Stretch time in Miami on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by bottom of the 7th inning. Oscar Brazoban back out after he recorded the final out in the 6th inning. And a scoreless game. He'll face Christopher Morel, Javier Sanoja, and Liam Hicks. This copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the New York Mets. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any counts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Mets. So now it's up to Brazoban to keep this game scoreless. That's trying to avoid being swept, but the offensive struggles continue. That's a score just 14 runs in the last 6 games, including today. They have just 10 hits in the series with their 4. And they've had opportunities, but have struggled with runners in scoring position. Luis Torrens remains in the game. He's behind home plate. And he and Huascar Brazoban will try and get through 8, 9, and 1. With Brooks Raley up and warming in the bullpen. So in all likelihood, Brazoban will face the first 2 hitters of this inning before Carlos goes to Raley. Now Brazoban steps off, but there's nobody on, so the clock continues to run. Brazoban sets, gets the pitch off, and Morel swings, and it's a towering fly ball to deep left field, but it's playable for Tyrone Taylor, who's underneath it to make the catch.
Morel knew he just missed it. He slammed that bat down in the dirt up the first baseline and yelled something we probably can't repeat. But that swing, he knew he had his pitch and just got underneath it.
One away, here's Javier Sanoja. Injury update brought to you by the Rothenberg Law Firm. If you're injured in an accident, the game plan is simple. Just go to injurylawyer.com. First pitch to Sanoja. Fastball, missed. 1 ball, no strikes. As if there were any doubt, Connor Norby left with left elbow discomfort after he was hit by a pitch from Christian Scott. 1-0 pitch, grounded foul, third base side. Counts 1-1. Carlos Mendoza gave an injury update earlier today on some Mets. Jorge Polanco is in Port St. Lucie facing live pitching. Mets are hoping to get him on a rehab assignment soon. 1-1 pitch. In tight, Sanoja jumps out of the way. It's 2 balls and a strike. Jared Young, A.J. Minter set to play for Syracuse. Mets are hoping to have both of them back this week. 2 balls and a strike on Sanoja. Pitch. Swinging a line drive towards left field, hooking towards the corner. It is down, a base hit up against the wall. Sanoja's around first, heading for second. He gets there standing with the 1-out double, and the go-ahead run is in scoring position for Miami. And the top of the order due up. Carlos Mendoza out of the bullpen. Brooks Raley is coming on to face Liam Hicks. Huascar Brazoban's day is done. Calls to the bullpen brought to you by Red Pocket Mobile. Visit redpocket.com to see why more Americans are switching to better wireless while also paying less. Brooks Raley is the new pitcher for the Mets. He replaces Huascar Brazoban. And he inherits the go-ahead run at second base with 1 out in the bottom of the 7th inning. And at the top of the order is 2 up for Miami. It is Hicks, a lefty, then the switch hitter Edwards, followed by Casey and Stowers, both lefties. Raley, 21 appearances. He has an ERA of 1.40. He's given up just 13 hits in 19 innings. And now he comes on with the task of keeping this game scoreless. First pitch to Hicks. Top of the zone for a strike. And the count's 0-1. Hicks is 0 for 2. He has walked. Slightly open stance from the left side. The pitch. Outside. 2 balls and no strikes. Raley, the 37-year-old out of Texas. He has been brilliant for the Mets. Next pitch. Outside. 2 balls and a strike. Left-handers are hitting just 148 against Raley this year. They are 4 for 19. 2 balls and a strike. With a go-ahead run at second. That's Sanoha. He can fly. The 2-1. Strike called. It's 2-2. And with the lefty up, it's unlikely that Sanoha would attempt to steal a third, but Miami does that often. 2-2. Tap foul at home plate. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And I say that because it creates a clear throwing lane for Torrens with Hicks up at the plate. But Miami has stolen third 16 times this season, which is the most in baseball. Timeout called. Hicks, who is second in baseball in RBIs with 44. He's in a left-on-left matchup with 2 balls, 2 strikes, and 1 away. He's hit .212 against lefties this season. Raley ready. The pitch. Way outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. And by no means is this a workaround with an open base over at first. Raley wants to get Hicks here, because the very dangerous and right-handed batting Xavier Edwards is on deck, and you'd love to face him with 2 outs. 3-2 the count. Raley sets, kicks home. Outside, ball 4, walked him.
Now, never got the chase he was looking for on that sweeper away. Usually set up by the fastball in the outside corner. Once that is established, then you can snap that sweeper and get the chase. Just could never throw it sharp enough. And now you've got Edwards, switch hitter. It really doesn't matter what side of the plate. Against righties, he hits .302. Against the lefty here, Raley, he is hitting .327 against lefties. So, again, it doesn't matter. He can simply hit for both sides of the plate.
Here's Edwards with first and second and 1 out. Scoreless game in the 7th inning. Pitch. Swing a ground ball back towards the middle and through into center field. A base hit. Sanoha hits third. On his way to the plate. The throw by Ewing. Tagged by Torrens. They got him! A.J. Ewing throws out Javier Sanoha at the plate, and the game remains scoreless. Sanoha took a massively wide turn around third, nearly collided with Blake Lally, the third base coach. And Ewing delivered a strike, and it remains 0-0.
Anytime you throw out Javier Sanoha on a base hit to the outfield, it's eye-popping. This is a great throw by A.J. Ewing. It's low, it's strong, it skips right along the turf, right into Torrens. And Sanoha, who is just as fast as lightning, gets thrown out. I'm stunned. What a throw by Ewing.
Justin Willard out to the mound to talk to Brooks Raley. Heriberto Hernandez is the pinch hitter. He'll hit for Owen Casey.
What we've seen on this trip, Benj make an unbelievable throw from right field in Washington, and Ewing make a great throw from center field here.
So 2 outs, and now here's Hernandez, the pinch hitter. Been in just 154 against lefties this season, despite being a right-handed batter. First and second, 2 outs, pitch. Fouled off at home plate. And it counts 0-1. Hicks the runner at second base. Edwards the runner at first. Oh, and 1 the count. Raley a check to second. And the pitch. Swing and a foul ball. No balls and 2 strikes. Can Brooks Raley make one more pitch? Austin Warren is up in the Mets bullpen. No balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Scoreless game, bottom 7. Raley looks in, shakes off once. Takes a deep breath, the pitch. Swing, a soft ground ball hit towards third. Beatty charges in, he gloves, throws on the run, not in time. Everybody's safe on an infield single. The Mets do have the stop sign up. They'll take a look. Carlos Mendoza won't challenge. Bases are loaded. And Kyle Stowers at the plate.
Just a tough play from Beatty. Charging in, he's playing back. Hernandez is, of course, not going to bunt, not going to drop one down with 2 outs and 2 strikes. So Beatty's just trying to play for the strong hit. Just a beat late on the throw to first. But if anything, you have a lefty here. And really, again, has been good against lefties.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Here's Stowers. 0 for 3. First pitch. Off the plate away, 1 ball and no strikes. Stowers this season has hit lefties better than righties. Still just .231. He's 6 for 26. The bases are full. And the pitch. Swing, a ground ball hit to second. Simeon has it. Throws to first in time for the out. Brooks Raley in and out of trouble in the 7th inning with an assist to A.J. Ewing. And we remain scoreless heading to the 8th on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra. Eighth inning, still scoreless. Michael Peterson back to work, Keith.
Oh, what a job done by pitching and defense there for the Mets to keep this thing scoreless. Defensive changes here for the Marlins. Kyle Stowers goes from left field to right field, and Heriberto Hernandez takes over in left. Michael Peterson against Mark Vientos. No score, top of the 8th. First pitch. Check swing. He went around on a changeup. I count nothing in one on Vientos. Behind him, you've got Beatty and then Simeon. And Mark extends his hand and takes his time. Certainly some strong and stressful pitching from Brooks Raley. And what a great throw by A.J. Ewing at 7 to cut down the go-ahead man of the plate. Peterson's 0-1. Bounce to short. Lopez to his left. Gathers and guns out Vientos. 1 away. Now, this is a lineup today without Juan Soto for the Mets. So far, they have 4 hits. They've also put a lot of guys on. They've had 9 men that they've left on base today. They are 0 for 7 with men in scoring position. Carlos did say that there is a slight chance that Juan Soto, as Carlos likes to use the terminology, could be a player for us. Maybe a pinch hit appearance in the ninth. Maybe. Here's Beatty. First pitch, fouled back. The count 0-1. We have, of course, our daily Juan Soto home run counter. Soto does have 10 home runs this season. Backing with Apple Bank is a home run. Learn more at applebank.com. Beatty a single, a walk, and a strikeout. So he's on twice. The 0-1. Lifted foul off to the left. And it's 0-2. So really both teams, it's not just the Mets, haven't scored. Marlins have left 10. The Mets have left 9. Nothing as we play at the top of the 8th. Beatty takes his time. Peterson's thrown 10 pitches. He got the last out of the 7th when he struck out A.J. Ewing. When the Mets had the go-ahead man at third. Just got Vientos. He's 0-2 on Beatty. There's nobody throwing. Pitch. Up and in, 98. That's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Again, this Marlins bullpen, just together, is nasty. They lead baseball in opponents' batting average. The league hitting about 180-something against them. 1-2. Swing and a miss. Climb the ladder with 98. Beatty strikes out. So 2 away. Marcus Semien coming up. And we'll see how this thing ends. It's been one of those games where, again, it's not a pitcher's duel. There have been a lot of situations where both bullpens get out of it. Is this one where we'll see in extras when we will give you a runner at second and then you figure it out? Or who's going to break through? Here's Semien with 2 outs. First pitch. Miss high with 97. That's 1 ball and no strikes. Marcus today is bounced into a double play. He's flown out to right. He's also reached on an error. Only error made in the game by the Marlins. That was in the 2nd inning. The 1-0. Breaking ball. Bends in for a strike. And it is 1-1. And the throw back hit Peterson's glove and rolled behind him. And then he looked at the catcher. Now he's talking to himself. I think he's yelling at himself, I would imagine. And then nobody reacted. And the ball just sat there. Well, again, there's nobody on base. But that was not clean. Well, Peterson closes off a bit, shows his number to the batter. The pitch. Semien hits a high, towering pop-up. Left field line. Foul. Near the sidewall. No play. Off the netting. Sanoa went over there with the glove. And was right there along the wall. The netting that protects the fans comes straight up. And the ball basically hit the net and went straight down. And Sanoa went into the first row, but obviously there's a net right there. Did you see what happened with Jeff McNeil last night? I did. He didn't mean to, but he cleated somebody. Did we find out if those people were okay? I believe so. Small little cut on the cheek. Jeez. 2 outs, 2 strikes on Semien. The pitch from Peterson. Missed away with 99. That's 2-2. That's already seen the A's. Already seen the Dodgers. Didn't see Diaz in that series. Of course, he's hurt. And I won't see Pete Brandon until the end of the year. 2-2. Bounce to third. Sanoa has it on the backhand. Sets and fires in time to get Marcus Semien. 1, 2, 3 go the Mets in the 8th. Still no score in Miami. Middle of 8. We are coming to you live from the Bigelow Tea broadcast booth. Bigelow Tea, grab a mug and tea proudly. He's Pat McCarthy. My name is Keith Rad. Luke Weaver comes on to pitch the bottom of the 8th. Scoreless game in Miami. The last one on this trip. Mets will head back home for Cincinnati tomorrow. The Marlins are going to Toronto. But it is a trip where the Mets have lost more games than they've won. And today, just trying to salvage a game and not get swept by these Marlins. Now Weaver comes on to face Otto Lopez. Best batting average in baseball. He has a hit today. This is Weaver's first appearance. I haven't seen him since the finale on Thursday against Washington. That was a tight game. The Mets won 2-1. Deep breath from Weaver. He'll work out of the windup. And his first one to Lopez. Just missed outside with a cutter. It's 1 ball, no strikes. Got Lopez, Marcy, and Pauly. Righty, lefty, lefty. And for the Marlins, they have Pete Fairbanks, who got the save on Friday, warming up. Weaver turns his feet, comes home with a 1-0. Lands one at the knees. The cutter that time worked. That's 1 ball and 1 strike for Weaver. And now something's up with Lopez as he drops down into the squat, kicking out his leg. Remember, we got here on Friday. He did not start. He asked for a challenge there. Didn't realize that. Pitch wasn't even close. And he got it right. So it is 2-0 instead of 1-1. So he challenged and then looked like he was hurt. But he's back in there. 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the pitch. Fought off foul to the right now to play. It's 2 balls and a strike. Weaver's ERA down now to 3.38. He, like Devin Williams, okay, rough start-ish in April, better in May. Pitched twice in that National Series, a combined 2 scoreless. 2-1 to Lopez. Chop toward third, Beatty in between Hop. Fields coming in, throws to first, a low throw, scooped out by Vientos, and Lopez is retired. Now time to deliver the scores with a scoreboard update from Amazon Hub Delivery. Amazon Hub Delivery. Visit Amazon.com/Hub Delivery. Dodgers and Brewers from Milwaukee, top 7, 5-1 LA. 2-run home run for Andy Pages. His 11th, so he's now up to 45 RBIs. So he and C.J. Abrams are back tied for the Major League lead. And remember, the leadoff hitter for the Marlins, Liam Hicks, has 44. No score in the 8th. Here's Marcy. Pitch. Grounded toward the middle. Right there, Bichette behind the bag. Flips to first in time. Marcy retired. Yankees got a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 9th from Aaron Judge to beat Tampa Bay 2-0. Judge's first runs batted in since the 10th of May. Meanwhile, the Mets here, like the Marlins, are trying to bat somebody in. Marlins today 2 for 9 with men in scoring position. They've left 10. The Mets 0 for 7. They've left 9. So Weaver now ready to face Pauly. In a scoreless game, bottom of the 8th. Pitch. Swing and a miss at a changeup. 0-1. Pauly second at bat. And a late squeeze into the lineup here because of Connor Norby getting hurt after the hit by pitch in the 4th. Pauly, former Padres prospect, 0-1. Clips the outside corner with his fastball strike, and it's 0-2. When we go to the 9th, it'll be Melendez, Taylor, and Senger. And again, who knows on Juan Soto if it's possible that he'll pinch hit somewhere. Here's the 0-2. Taken outside a changeup, 1 ball and 2 strikes. And again, looks like you're going to have Fairbanks, the righty. Not that it really matters who Soto faces, lefty or righty. And again, even if he is a player, that's just simply Carlos trying to keep the competitive advantage of guessing. 1-2. Missed outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
And you wonder if Juan is available at all, if it's just a hit. And then they could bring somebody in to run if he gets on base.
Very true. Now Melendez would lead off in the DH spot, so that would be a little easier. We'll see. 2-2 to Pauly. popped up behind home plate, and that'll make the seats downstairs. Fans rise up. I haven't announced the attendance yet today. Last couple of days, been about 17-ish thousand people here. And there's some tarp soft boys up in the upper deck out there in right, foul territory. Set it the other day in D.C., and it has taken the baseball world by storm. 2-2 to Pauly. Just missed low. And Terens now is going to tap his helmet after throwing the ball to the third baseman. He took a while, and it'll be granted by Jansen Visconti. I don't blame the Marlins, but we'll see here. Terens thought it was strike 3, so he threw the ball to Beatty. That's just something that catchers do, customary coming off the field. So let's see. If it's a ball, it's only 3-2. And it's strike 3.
Strike 3.
So Weaver has a 1-2-3-8. Back to the Mets here for the top of the ninth. No score. Somebody's got to score today on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra. We go to the ninth inning, still no score, Mets and Marlins. And so it's getting later and later here. Pete Fairbanks comes on. He's the Miami closer. Obviously not a save situation, but they're going to use their best late in the game. Melendez will lead off to start the ninth inning. It'll be Melendez, Taylor, and Terens. First pitch from the big Pete Fairbanks. Ripped to right field. That's a base hit for Melendez, heading toward the wall. Backhanded by Stowers. Melendez a big wide turn, but he hangs on with a leadoff single. So Melendez has the first Met hit since the fifth inning. Now he's been on 3 times today. Walk, hit by pitch, and a single. And that snaps an 0 for his last 12. He was also 1 for his last 30. And so, more importantly, 1 for his last 1. And Nick Morabito is going to come out and run for him at first base. So let's see how creative the Mets get. An offense that has been starving for a little rhythm. Do they hit and run? Do they run Morabito? Do they simply play it straight up? Got to do something. They've scored 2 runs all weekend. 2 runs. A better hitting day today. They had 6 hits first 2 games. They have 5 today. Morabito takes the lead. Sanoa in at third. Taylor up at the plate in the ninth. Fairbanks delivers. Morabito goes. Throw down to second base. And they got him. And a huge fist bump by the guy that put the tag on, Xavier Edwards. Nick Morabito gets caught down. Plain as day at second base on a head-first attempt. 1 away in the ninth.
You can't fault the Mets for being aggressive there. That's why Nick Morabito is here, because he can fly. But Hicks gets a great pitch to throw on. He delivers a strike. Edwards cuts down the distance and applies the tag.
He was not even close to the bag by the time the tag was on the shoulder. Just a great throw by Hicks. 0-1, swing and a miss at a cutter, and it's 0-2. I noticed that too the other day, even on Friday, when A.J. Ewing got on, tried to steal, he got thrown out, took a beautiful play. The Marlins have executed this weekend defensively. No score, top of the ninth, 0-2, punched foul to the right, and it stays 0-2.
A play like that, it's not always that somebody does something wrong. Sometimes the other team just makes the big play, does it right. It's kind of like what the Mets just did with A.J. Ewing before when they threw out Sanoha at the plate.
Seen a lot of good defense today. Fairbanks ready. 0-2 to Taylor. Grounded to third. Sanoa picks it off the dirt. Double past the glove and throws out Taylor. 2 away in the ninth. So now you got to think about a couple different things, which is who's coming up in the bottom of the ninth as well. Devin Williams is getting loose. Mets just threw Weaver there in the bottom of the eighth. It'll be Morel, Sanoa, and then Hicks. 8, 9, and 1. Luis Torrens, second at bat. He lined out to right center his first time. Pinch hitting for Hayden Senger. So again, no Soto here in the ninth. Who is sick. Pitch. Foul back and the count 0-1. Again, sometimes they have the game on in the clubhouse, and so I haven't even seen a shot of the dugout if Soto's even in there or not. He could be taking a nap in the back closet in the dark room, and in the background hears us on the radio. I think Soto may get an at bat thinking, I'm not even close. He was not feeling good today. 0-1. Missed down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. Well, it's been amazing to see what Soto's done this trip, this month, for his career. But the Mets simply cannot lean on Juan Soto. No score, ninth inning. 2 outs. Bases clear for Torrens. Fairbanks is 1-1. Fouled straight back. Redirected 96, and it's 1-2. Mentioned the Mets have scored 2 runs all weekend. Soto hit a home run on Friday. That was the only run of that game. And then yesterday it took all the way till 2 outs in the ninth for the Mets to get an RBI single from Mark Vientos. Fairbanks bobbing back and forth. His 1-2. Slider in the dirt. Check swing. Didn't go. 2-2 on Torrens. Fairbanks can be one of those guys that, especially if you're on base, you have to make sure you wait to see when he comes to a complete stop, because he's always moving on the left foot, back in the right foot, right foot. As if he's stopping in place. 2-2. Missed outside. Good take by Torrens on a nasty cutter. And the count full. Now, if Torrens gets on, you can't run for him because you've already taken Senger out of the game. Talk about some guys that are making their way back, whether it's Jared Young or A.J. Minter or Jorge Polanco. Alvarez is not close. Lindor is not close. Robert is not close. Infield back. 3-2. Way outside. He walked him. So good work there by Torrens to fight back and get on base. So once again, the Mets get somebody on. And if you're joining us late, the Mets have left 9 men on today, and the Marlins have left 10. Nobody can find that big hit. It's the kind of game where it feels like one big swing, but neither of these teams are very prolific power hitters. Mets 21st in home runs. The Marlins 26th. Here's Bench, who has 3 homers. Batting left. First toss. Zips in there at 96. Fairbanks gets ahead, and it's 0-1. Carson does not have a hit in the series. He has walked twice. He is 0 for 10. I was taking over baseball in May in the National League, and it's cooled off. Torrens with a small lead at first. 2 outs in the ninth. The 0-1. Strike under his elbows. Took 96, and it's 0-2. Strikeout and 2 groundouts today for Bench, who didn't walk again. Steals second, got to third. That's as close as the Mets got to scoring. Those were 2 outs in the 7th inning. 2 outs here in the ninth. 2 strikes. Fairbanks deals. Bench fights it off behind home plate. Talking to Carlos Mendoza today about these young players that are asked to develop on the job, but also be counted on. And so that's the balance. And Mets find themselves with a whole lot of important players not in the starting lineup that should have been counted on. They're hurt. 0-2 on bench. Fairbanks ready. Pitch. Check swing, ball in the dirt. Did he go? No. The ball gets away, so Torrens gets to second and takes a turn as Hicks picks the ball up in front of the Marlins dugout. So now you've got the walk, a wild pitch, and Torrens is in scoring position. And once again, the Mets get men on in scoring position, but they keep doing it with 2 outs.
Yeah, the opportunities have been there, but like you said, that's when they have had them, there's been 2 outs, and they just haven't been able to get that big hit. Let's see if Bench can do it here.
Infield around to the right. Fairbanks deals. Strike 3 called. He took 97. And now it is do or die. Scoreless game in Miami. We go to the bottom of the 9th on Odyssey Mets Radio, powered by the all-new Nissan Sentra. Back in Miami, we go to the bottom of the 9th inning. Mets nothing, Marlins nothing. The Mets have left 10. The Marlins have left 10. How about that? A game with no score, 12 hits, 20 men left on base. It's kind of hard to do. Now Devin Williams comes on to the Mets for the rest of the game, however long it goes. Will be playing with their back against the wall. One big swing could win it here for the Marlins, who are looking for the sweep. Nobody's been able to trim the lead because there is no lead. However, Azek exteriors would Ross. Azek trim does not. Call that a professional something. So here's Morrell leading off. Devin Williams has been good. Had a big save the other day in D.C. First action of the series in Miami. First pitch. Sails the fastball high. 1 ball and no strikes. Came to find out after that game, Will Salmon did a little digging and found out Devin Williams has changed his hand placement coming set, and that has helped him out big time. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss. Change up. And it's 1-1.
The other thing that he said that's been big is he's now coming set with the ball in his hand, which he had never done before.
The ERA down to 4.32 for the season. 1-1 to Morrell. Swing and a miss. Challenged him with a fastball and beat him, and it's 1-2. In April, Devin Williams blew 1 save, saved another, and in 9 appearances had a 10.29 ERA. In May, 5 saves, 5 tries, 0.00 ERA. He's been that good in this month. Mets offense has not scored today, neither has the Marlins. Williams ready, and the 1-2. just missed a little bit high, a little bit outside. 2-2 on Morel, who has not hit a home run this season, but as Pat told you, had a big year in 23 with the Cubbies. That big power when he's right. Deep breath from Williams. 2-2. Broken bat flare over third, down the left field line, base hit for Morel. Taylor cuts it off, turns and fires. Morel on the way to second, so's the throw, but he's in first, head first, with a diving double. Now Morel popped it over Beatty and down the line, and now the winning run is in scoring position. And the Marlins are simply the next team to have a man in scoring position. Both sides have had a terrible time driving in a run today. But running for Christopher Morel is probably the fastest man in South Florida, Esteury Ruiz, who was the key figure in Friday's win. Marlins won that one 2-1. Ruiz had a double and a triple, and he's also stolen third. So we'll see how the Marlins play this. They have Sanoa up. Now they can bunt Sanoa, get Ruiz over there. Ruiz can kind of teleport to third. He's that good. So let's see. And let's see if Williams can pull a rabbit out of his hat like he did on Thursday in Washington. Marlins have out-hit the Mets 8-5. The winning run is at second. Corners are in. Sanoa, the righty, is up. Williams set. No bunt yet. A long hold down the pitch. He shows bunt and bunts it down toward third. Here comes Beatty to field and throw to first to get Sanoa, who as he crosses the bag, claps his hands, happy to get the sack down and get Ruiz to third. So the winning run is now 90 feet away, and you can score on an out if you are the Marlins here. Top of the order coming up.
Well, you can't do it any better than that. Bunts it right to the third baseman, which eliminates any potential play over at third. And now you force the Mets to bring the infield in with Liam Hicks at the plate.
Now what do? You got Hicks, who's walked twice. He hit 2 home runs yesterday. He doesn't strike out a lot. You put him on, but then you have Edwards on deck, who's just the best all-around hitter probably in the Marlins lineup, and he can hit from both sides. They're going to face Hicks. Infield in. 1 out. Pitch. Missed down low, a changeup. 1 ball and no strikes.
Well, this is a situation where you're not putting Hicks on because you trust Devin with that changeup against the lefties because it's such a neutralizer.
Well, even if you don't get a strikeout, he's hard to strike out. You try to get soft contact, but Ruiz ready to fly. The 1-0. Up and away. Ball 2. And it does get to a point where you think, okay, maybe just move on to next. But let's see. Beatty is right near the runner at third. Ruiz is not taking a very big lead. He doesn't have to. He's that fast. Bichette in at short. Semien in at second. Vientos in at first. The winning run at third. 1 out. 2-0 to Hicks. Pitch. Outside, changeup miss, ball 3. The switch hitting Xavier Edwards is on deck. Then Heriberto Hernandez. The outfielders are in at a good, comfortable throwing distance. All 3. Winning run at third, the 3-0. In for a strike, threw him a strike at all. That's a changeup. That's 3-1. Seeing if Hicks can get himself out here. Has not struck out today. Has 1 strikeout in the series. 3-1. Here comes. Foul back. Big rip at a changeup, and it's 3-2. Now Hicks, again, talk about not striking out a lot. It's not as if he's never struck out before. And Devin Williams is different than your typical pitcher. Devin is a big, big strikeout pitcher. In this month, which has been hot for Williams, he has struck out 35% of batters. That is incredibly high. Elite level of height. He's got to do it here. Winning run at third, 1 out in the 9th. No score, Mets and Marlins. Payoff. Walked him, missed high. So not the end of the world. First and third. And now what do you do here with their defense? Here comes Carlos Mendoza to bring everybody together on the mound to talk it out while they chat. We'll pause 10 seconds. Station ID.
This is Odyssey Mets Radio on WHSQ and WCBS FM HD2, New York.
In Miami with Pat McCarthy, my name is Keith Radd. Marlins are right on the brink here They have first and third in a scoreless game, bottom of the ninth, 1 out. Carlos Mendoza's on the mound talking to everybody. You've got Xavier Edwards at the plate. Such a good hitter from both sides. He has grounded into 5 double plays this year, which is kind of a lot more than I thought he would have grounded into, because he grounded into 6 all year last year in 139 games, and we're only a third of the way to that point right now. So the question is, how will the Mets break from this meeting and align defensively? Hicks, you can double up. He's not that fast at first. So you get a nice ground ball toward the middle. You can get that out, but you gotta hustle it to first.
They're going to put him on.
Okay, that is another option. So they will intentionally walk Xavier Edwards and put Hicks at second. So now you have the bases loaded. Force it any bag, but they're going to try to come home. And you've got Heriberto Hernandez coming up. Part of the conversation with Carlos Mendoza was to Devin Williams, are you comfortable if we load the bases? Because for a pitcher, there's no margin for error. You walk him here, the game is over. Now Jansen Visconti is dusting off home plate, giving everybody a chance to get settled. Ruiz is at third, Hicks is at second, Edwards is at first. The infielders are in. The outfielders are again with 1 out in a spot where they make a catch right there or in, they can make a throw to the plate. Heriberto Hernandez, right-hand hitter batting. Williams set. First pitch. Strike at the knees, changeup. By the way, behind Hernandez, you've got the lefty Kyle Stowers. Hernandez last time up hit a chopper infield single to Beatty at third. He does that here. You can get the out of the plate on a force. Bases loaded, 1 out. 9th inning, no score. 0-1. High fly. Deep center field. This is going to win the game by a lot. It's a grand slam. Heriberto Hernandez.